Hey guys, hey Rahul. Am I audible, guys? Sagar, hi. Hey Sathak. Are you guys able to hear me? Please comment yes. Hey Shajal. Am I audible? So if some of you can also share this link in the group so that everyone else can join. I can see there are only 7 people. And this is just mentioned in the group that this is one of the trickiest and perhaps one of the toughest topic of DILR. So I really want everyone to be in the session today. There are some really great concepts here, so I don't want anyone to miss out the class. We'll start in next 3-4 minutes. Meanwhile, just ask your peers to join. Hey guys, so there are only 9 people today. Hey Iti. Perfect. So guys, we'll just start in next 2 minutes. Let your peers also join. Meanwhile, has everyone watched the sessions on arrangement? At least arrangement? Iti, have you completed arrangement topic? Hello? Are you guys able to hear me? Am I audible? Okay, great. Perfect. So fine guys, we'll just start with 8 people and I guess the others will join meanwhile. Might be because it's India's match today, so some of you might also be watching the World Cup. So it doesn't make much sense against Sri Lanka, but still. Okay, chalo, cool. Let's start. So, just a few guidelines here. Please pay attention in this topic. It will be hard to repeat the entire questions again. So, as and when you guys face any issues, you can directly ask in the comment for any doubts. Try to be more focused today. And yeah, that's pretty much. So, there are some really good tricks here and some direct approaches, which I would really want you to understand. Once you understand, then questions on this topic will become easier to you. It's okay, Iti. Majority of the good questions I typically take in the lectures only, so that assignments are just for practice. It's okay. You can attend the assignments even later on. Fine. So okay, let's start. So yeah, that's the team, and here starts the session. So just before we start, this is the first point is a very typical point about LRDI. So maybe let me give you an instance. When I was writing my CAD in 2015, yeah, so I wrote CAD in 2015, correct? So in the starting 30 minutes, I was not able to solve even a single question in LRDI section. So this particular section is really messy, and it's really important for you to not, bring in your ego of maths or DILR in between and not stick to one single question. So I know that I wasted around 30 minutes out of net 60 minutes in LRDI, and I could not attempt a single question, and I was so depressed by then. But then I just took a break of 2 minutes and then I started again. So it happens with a lot of people, trust me. So people who have already appeared for CAT in the past might be able to relate to this instance. It happens in quant that maybe that you will end up finding a question on, say, percentage, and percentage is your favorite topic. But then the question might be tricky, or maybe at that instance of time you might not be able to catch that little trick of the question, and then you will end up getting stuck in that question and will end up spending 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and only then you will realize, okay, you're still not able to solve the question and you have wasted 15 minutes. So just a very brief or maybe a very friendly suggestion that do not spend more than 5 minutes in any question. So that is the case in quant, that is the case in in verbal, and even in LRDI. After reading the question, the first thing is you have to note down. As you start reading the question, you have to form the table. So as we have seen in the questions of arrangements, we generally start with the tables, or maybe circle if it's a question of circular arrangement, and then within a span of 5 minutes you would know that at least that whether this particular question is within your reach or not. If you're still not able to even understand the question, then it doesn't make sense to spend 10 or 15 more minutes in the same set. That's it. You can leave the question for that span of moment and can reattempt it later on when you go to the version 2 of your uh, unattempted question. That's it. Now, these are the brief languages. Also, as we have seen that in the question of in the topic of arrangements, people face problem in understanding the language of the question, and they end up making mistakes because they could not comprehend the language of the sentence. Hence, these are the typical 3-4 kind of sentences you would find in the topic of games and tournaments. I just wanted to highlight so that we all are on the very same page. The first point is, if I say that M lost to N but won against O and P, that means it's not N who has won against O and P, but it's M. So it implies that M has won the match against O and P. Second is, if the sentence says M lost to N, who in turn won against O and P, then this who stands for N and not for P, right? So it implies that M has won the match, that M has lost the match to N, which means N has won the match against M. Also, N has won the match against O and P. So this was the difference between sentence 1 and sentence 2. Now, sentence third is, if it is given to you that M did not win against N, typically people conclude from this that since M did not win against N, that means N must have won against M. But guys, this is not correct. You cannot conclude or infer that N won when a sentence says that M did not win against N, because as you've seen in games, in tournaments and games, matches can also end up in a draw, as it was the match between India and New Zealand. So draws or ties is also a possibility. So you cannot assume or conclude that N has won the match. Cool. These were the 3 typical things. I hope everyone is on the same page. Now here, typically questions come from cricket tournaments, then there are football tournaments, then maybe tennis, then maybe matchstick problems. Yeah, so these are the typical 3-4 tournaments which you will see in the DLR set, and particularly LR set of games and tournaments. So again, games of cricket are divided into 2 parts. Questions can be on knockouts or questions can be on Robin round. Does anyone know what is knockout and what is Robin round? If anyone knows, please let me know. So we are having the World Cup. So the first round of World Cup is what? It is a match in which every team is playing 9 matches, right? There are a total of 10 teams in the tournament, and every team is playing 9 matches. That implies every team is playing against every other team exactly once, at least in the first round, right? That means this is a Robin round tournament. What is a knockout tournament? Knockout, as the name suggests, if A is playing against B and if B has lost the match, then B would be out of the tournament right then and there. We will not be given any second chance. Okay. However, in Robin round, there are a fixed set of tournaments which happen before the results are decided, before we eliminate or choose any teams to the second round. Once Robin round or knockout round 1 happens, second round might happen, third round might happen, and so on and so forth. Then we have the quarterfinals. Then we can also have semifinals. So like a semifinals is typically knockouts. If nothing is given, we assume that if 4 teams have reached the match of semifinals, it means there'll be 2 matches. First match will be against the first team and the 4th team, and second match will be against team number 2 and 3rd. So how do we decide the ranking? That 1 is ahead, 2 is ahead, 3 is ahead, or 4 is ahead? We decided either on the basis of number of points. Number of points can be on basis of number of matches won, lost, or draw, or tie. Or it can be on the basis of net run rate, right? As is the case in this World Cup. So Australia is on number 1 so far. India is 2nd. 3rd is England. And 4th is New Zealand, right? Which means Australia will play against New Zealand and India will play against England if Australia wins the match against South Africa and India lose the match against Sri Lanka. So like these are the rankings so far. It might change on the basis of your future matches. Everyone is clear about what is knockout tournament, what is Robin round tournament, how do we decide? First team always plays against fourth, second team always plays against third. Why? Because it's always advisable that the matches between the best team should happen at the last. So we always try to eliminate the weaker team so that the finals and the semi-finals happens at a very high level. Is there any doubts in understanding what is knockout or what is Robin round? Perfect. I hope it's clear. Yes, Sharjil. Rahul, is it clear what is Robin round? So, if you're watching the World Cup, the first round of World Cup where every team has to play 9 matches is Robin round. So there are only two things, either Robin round or knockouts. Robin again. Robin, okay, let me give you the the written thing. So guys, see, knockout matches are those matches in which loser exits from the tournament. So if A and B have played the match and if B has lost, so B will be directly out of the tournament. B will not be given a chance to play with any other team. This is knockout, which is usually semi-finals, finals, and so on and so forth. So the total number of rounds is how many? So guys, if it's given in the question that there are 2 to the power k players, say there are 8 players, right? So if there are 8 players, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, right? So how many rounds will be there? In round number 1, there'll be 4 matches, right? So this is round number 1, there'll be 4 matches. And there'll be 4 teams who would qualify. Then out of those 4 teams, say 1, 2, 3, 4 have qualified, I will again have 2 matches, right, in round 2. So round 2 will again have 2 matches, 1 against 4 and 2 against 3, right? Then 2 teams will be qualified from here, and in round 3, I will have a final between 1 and 2. If team 1 and team 2 wins the matches in their semi-final, which means if there are 8 teams, so there'll be a total of 3 rounds in a knockout tournament. Or I can generalize this by a direct formula. Say k is equals to 3. So if there are 2 to the power 3 players, if there are 8 players, then the total number of rounds will be 3. Again, I repeat, I'm talking about the number of rounds. I'm not talking about the number of matches. Number of matches will be what? 4 plus 2 plus 1. It will be 7 matches. It will be k minus 1 matches. But I'm talking about the number of rounds. So number of rounds is 3. Now you can come back to me and say that, sir, what if there are only 7 players, right? So what we do is we try to take the next power of 2. So if the number of players are 5, 6, 7 or 8, in all these cases there will be 3 rounds. If the number of players are say 3 or 4, then the number of rounds will be 2. The number of players are 1 or 2, then the number of rounds will be 1, right? So what we do is we take the immediate next power. So 5 is what? 2 to the power 2 plus 1. So the immediate next power of 2 after 5 will be 8, right? So I consider 8 and the answer will be 2 to the power 3 equals to 8. So there will be 3 number of rounds. You can also check that if there are 5 players, someone would be given a bye and finally you will end up having 7 rounds. 7 matches or you will end up having 3 rounds only, in case the number of players are 5, 6, 7 or 8. So is this clear? The first point is, I'll reiterate my first point. It says that the total number of rounds in a knockout match will be k, where what is k? Where the total number of players in the tournament is 2 to the power k. Or if the number of players are not the exact power of 2, then we take the immediate next power of 2. So if the number of players are 6 or 7, then we consider this as 8 and we say 8 is 2 to the power 3. So there will be 3 number of rounds. That's it. That is everything you need to know about knockout matches. The next is Robin round tournaments. So guys, Robin round tournaments are those in which each team has to play fixed number of matches before eliminating or winning the tournament. In knockout, if one team has lost the match, it will be out of the tournament. But in Robin round, it will be given second chance. So there'll be a fixed set of matches which will happen, maybe 7 matches, 8 matches, 10 matches, right? Or we can also say, or maybe the question can also say that each team has to play a match with each other teams exactly once, which is the case of World Cup, right? Every team has played one match against every other team. Then it is Robin round. So if the question asks you if there are n teams, how many matches would be there uh, in round number one? So because I say you that every team has to play exactly one match against every other team in the Robin round tournament, hence I just have to choose two teams. So it is directly NC2. In a Robin round tournament, there will be always NC2 matches. Why? Because every team has to play against every other team. So I just have to pick a pair of two. So now the question is same as in how many ways can you select a team of two from n teams? In how many ways can you select a pair of two from the given n teams? Answer is NC2, and hence number of matches in a Robin round tournament will be NC2. Iti, are you talking about knockout? See, in knockout, number of rounds is what? If there are 8 teams, right, and if it's a knockout tournament, say team 1 plays against team number 8, say team number 2 plays against team number 7, team number 3 plays against team number 6, and team number 4 plays against team number 5. And I'm assuming that team 1 has won the match, 2 has won the match, 3 has won the match, and 4 has won the match. So this entire thing is what? Round number 1. So in first round, I had at least one match of every other team, right? So in round 1, I had 4 matches. So this is the difference between round and number of matches, right? This is round number 1. Hence, I have 4 teams who would qualify for round number 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can assume that team 1 plays with team number 4 and team 2 plays with team number 3 in round number 2. So there will be 2 matches. Let's assume that 1 has won the match against 4 and 2 has won the match against 3. So in round number 3, there will be 2 matches there'll be exactly one match between 2 teams, that is 1 and 2. Say 1 has won the match. So round 3 is basically what? Your final match. Round 2 is what? Semi-final, because there are 4 teams. And this was round number 1. You can consider this as a quarter final or maybe a first match if there are only 8 teams. Sakshi, no, number of matches in a knockout tournament is not key. See, it will actually depend whether, okay, so here in a knockout tournament, number of matches will be what? In round number 1, I have 4 matches. In round number 2, I will have 2 matches. In round number 3, I'm having 1 match. So 4 plus 2 plus 1 is what? 7. There were 8 teams. So number of matches is 7. Right? So in a knockout tournament, if there are K teams, number of matches is what? K minus 1. Or you can also, try to visualize this problem in this manner that in a knockout tournament, there are K teams. Now guys, out of K teams, only one team is going to win the final tournament, right? Which means K minus 1 teams have to lose the tournament. Now, I know in a knockout tournament, in one match, exactly one team will lose the match and will be out of the tournament, right? And hence, if there are K teams, which means that there'll be K minus 1 lost matches, and hence there'll be total of K minus 1 matches. Because in every match, there'll be one lost team, and number of lost teams are K minus 1. So you can also directly say that the number of matches will be K minus 1. However, in a Robin round tournament, the number of matches will be NC2. Clear so far? Yes, Sagar. Yes, Himadri. Very good. That's correct. Shall we move ahead? this was all the basics about, or maybe, the concepts about this. Now, there are some more terminologies which I want you to understand. Let's see them. So the first thing is seed. This is again a common terminology, seed. Does anyone know what is a seed? If anyone does, please let me know in the comment. So, like typically we assign a number to the team. Team number 1, team number 2, team number 3, team number 4, right? And these numbers denote the ranking. So based on the ranking or based on the past history, we know that, team number 1 is the strongest of everyone. So we'll assign number 1 to the team, right? So this number is basically called as a seed. So let's just read the definition here. Sarthak is asking a question that NC2 is for the total matches in the Robin Round tournament that includes all the team. Yes, Sarthak. So see, whenever we are seeing a tournament, a tournament can consist of Robin Round matches as well as knockout matches. For instance, the World Cup. In the World Cup, the first round is the Robin Round, and hence in the Robin Round matches, there'll be a total of NC2 matches. Now, out of this, there will be certain teams which will be selected and will be pushed to the semi-finals. Now, semi-final is then a knockout. So the entire tournament is basically only one. So it's a single World Cup tournament. However, there can be knockout matches, there can be Robin Round matches. Clear? Yes, Shajil, very good. Yeah, so we were talking about seed. So why do we want to, assign a ranking or maybe a number to the teams? The idea is that the best teams should not face each other until later in the competition. As I told you before, we want the weaker teams to be eliminated in the initial go, and hence team 1 always plays against team number 8 if there are 8 matches. The strongest team plays against the weakest team. The second strongest team will play against the second weakest team. Perfect. So in first round, a top ranked team plays with the last, and so on and so forth. Now in the second round and on. So this is what is the meaning of seed. Is it clear? Now in a seed, if nothing is, yeah. So now we have two more terms, upset and downset. What is upset and what is downset? So say there are 8 teams, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's only assume that there are 4 teams. It's basically the semi-final. Okay, so these are the seed numbers, and hence I can say that team number 1 will play against team number 4 and team number 2 will play against team number 3, right? Because the strongest team should play against the weakest team. So it's typically expected that team number 1 is going to win the match and team number 2 is going to win the match, right? Because 1 is strongest and 2 is strongest, right? Hence 2 is the ranking, and the ranking of team number 2 is higher than the ranking of team number 3. But ideally, it might happen that team number 4 has won the match against 1. So what I'm trying to explain here is, at times in a tournament, the unexpected team wins the match against the expected team. So you can consider team number 1 to be England. You can expect team number 4 to be Pakistan. Now we know that Pakistan has won the match against England, right? So it was an upset. So the terminology upset means the team which was expected to win the match has not won the match, which means whenever the weaker team wins the match against the stronger team, it's an upset. So you can also read this definition here. An upset occurs in a competition or in politics or in sports when the party popularly expected to win is defeated by an underdog whom the majority expects to lose. Define the conventional wisdom. The underdog then becomes a giant killer. Perfect. So now let me give you an example to clear this entire concept of seed and upset. So here, guys, in this example, in the diagram which I've drawn on the right hand side, you have to tell me which is an upset. So see, I'll just explain you what the diagram suggests. It says that there are 16 teams in the seeded format. So team 1 must play against team number 16 and this will be match number 1. Then team 2 must play against 15, 3 must play against 14, 4 must play against 13, 5 is against 12 and so on and so forth. So guys, if you observe here, team 1 is playing against 16, 2 is playing against 15, right? So if you sum up the seed numbers, it's always 17, right? 1 plus 16 is 17, 2 is plus 15 is 17. So if someone asks me that which team will the seed number 8 play against, so I can directly say that sum has to be 17. So team 8 must play against team number 9. Only then their sum must be 17. This is the first concept. That the sum of their seeds is always constant. You can figure out yourself, right? Now let's see. So one is playing against 16 and one is expected to win. Let's assume that there is no upset. So if there is no upset, then team 1 will win the match. Here 8 will win, 4 will win, 5 will win. Here 2, 7, 3. But here I've given you that in the match of 6 and 11, 6 was expected to win the match. However, 11 has won the match against 6. So this is a classic example of upset. Then 3-11, 3 has won the match, 2-7, 2, 1-8, 1 has won the match, 4 and 5, 4 has won the match, 1 and 4, 1 has won the match, 2 and 3, 2 has won the match. So there is only one upset here. Except this one upset, every team who was expected to win the match has won the match. Clear? Yes, guys. Very good. Himadri, Rahul, Shine, and Churchill. At least you have understood this entire concept of upset. So guys, if I have to generalize or if I have to, note down my learning from this slide, what I would conclude is the RH match in round 1 will be played between seed number R and seed number n plus 1 minus R. So if there are n teams, n is 16 here, right? So I know that the first match was between first and 16. The second match was between second and 15. So the RH match will be between team number R and some seed number X. Now I know that some of their seed must be 17. 17 is what? Number of teams plus 1. So if n is the number of teams, n plus 1 is that total sum. So if I want the sum of both the seeds to be n plus 1, and if one seed is R, the second seed has to be n plus 1 minus R, right? Only then their sum will become n plus 1. So this is the generalized learning. It's either you can understand this so that this becomes on your fingertips, or you can remember this basis your own abilities. Clear? So if I ask you in a set of LRDI, which team will play against which teams, who will win the match, you should be able to solve it within seconds. ET and the girls, is it clear? Chalo. So let's do a simple set on knockout tournaments. These are the 16 teams. And these are the 4 questions in front of you. I want everyone to solve each of these 4 questions within 4 minutes. You have 4 minutes. Come on. If you're not able to view the text, you can ask me. The hint is try to draw your diagram in this format. You will be able to visualize the question in a very faster format. You just have to draw it once. Try to draw it in this manner. This is going to be match number 1. This is going to be match number 2. This is match number 3. This is match number 4, 5, 6, 7. So try to, draw it and then solve the question. I want everyone to be able to solve this.
कर तो नहीं पहले अभी
Okay, guys, is it done? Sonal, very good. The first one to solve all the 4 questions. Uh, okay, guys, I think everyone has at least made the first attempt. Let's see whose answer is correct. So before moving further, let me give you the final answer. Is anyone correct? Rahul's, your answer is wrong. Sharjil, wrong. Sagar, your 2 answers are correct. Shine is wrong. Sakshi is wrong. Himadri, 1 is wrong. Rishabh, wrong. Sonal, your first answer is wrong. Third will be West Indies. Perfect. Sonal has corrected the answer. The answer is CABD. CABD. Guys, this was a simple question. I don't expect you to make mistakes, at least in such questions. Let's see. So the first question is, if there are no upsets in the first round. So in the first round, first team will play against 16, second will play against 15. Now guys, why have I placed 8 here and why have I not placed 2 here? Because I know that out of 16 teams, there'll be 8 teams who will move to round number 1. So in round number 1, first team number 1 is going to play against team number 8, right? So hence, visualizing what's going to happen in future, I have drawn this diagram in such a way. And similarly, like same is the logic for every other drawing here. So the question says, if there is no upset in the first round, so what will be the teams who will win the matches? It will be 1, 2, 7, 8, 4, 3, 5 and 6. Correct? These are the teams who will win the match. Now second match will be between 1 and 8, 2 and 7, 3 and 6 and 4 and 5. Now it says match number 2, 3 and 4 of the second results in an upset, right? Which means match number 1 mein to 1 is going to win, right? This will win between 1 and 8. 2 and 7, 7 will win, right? Because it's an upset. 4 and 5, 5 will win. 3 and 6, 6 will win. So now I have 1. This was match number 1, right? This was match number 2. So 2, 3, 4 of the second round results in an upset. Then who would meet Pakistan in semi-finals? Okay, perfect. So now out of these 4 teams, it's only one who is going to play. Now these are the final matches. Out of these, I have which team? 7. It's 7 who is winning here. Out of these 4 teams, team number 6 is going to win the match. Now out of these teams, team number 5 is going to win the match, right? So now the next matches will be between 1 and 5, and here match will be between 7 and 6. Why is it happening between 1 and 5? If you guys mention all these numbers in a sequential format, 1 2 3 4 till 16, you will be able to visualize it better. Or you can also directly remember this trick, that this is how you try to draw the diagram. This will be match number 1, 2, this will be 3, and this will be 4. It's always going to be in this manner. So between 1 and 5, okay, if there is no upset, then who would meet Pakistan in the semi-finals? So which team is Pakistan? Pakistan is team number 5, right? So who is going to win the match? So team number 5 is going to play against team number 1. Team number 1 is what? Australia. So answer is going to be C. It's clear, guys? And every question is very much similar to this. There's nothing extra. So you just have to draw the diagram in this exact format. Why am I drawing it in this format? Which team is coming where? If you're not able to visualize it, you can draw or you can mention all the teams in a very sequential manner, and then you can try to visualize that this is going to be match number 1. Match number 1 will be between team number 1 and 6, between 1 and 16. Match number 2 will be between 2 and 15, and so on and so forth. Then match 1 ka winner and match number 8 ka winner. Then in the similar format, you'll try to move ahead. So that's it. Now in question number 2, if South Africa and Sri Lanka loses in the first round, okay. So which team is South Africa and which team is Sri Lanka? So South Africa is team number 3. Team number 3 loses, okay. And Sri Lanka, team number 4 also loses. So okay, I think I'll have to redraw the diagram. Or maybe I think I will have the drawing for this diagram. Let me directly move on to the drawing. Okay, so I'll also open the question in some other format so that you can see it parallelly. Yeah, so it's mentioned, the question says South Africa and Sri Lanka lose in the first round. South Africa was team number 3rd. So where is team number 3rd? Okay, 3 is losing. So team number 3rd was playing against team number 14. So 14 is winning. Okay, and team number 4 is also losing. Team number 4 is Sri Lanka. It's given in the question. So these are the winners after the first round: 1, 9, 2, 7, 14, 6, 13, and 5. Right? So this was the second round. Now it was given Bangladesh and India make it to the semi-finals. So Bangladesh was team number 9. Okay, which means team number 9 will win the match here. And Bangladesh and India. India was team number 2. So team number 2 will win the match. So 9 and 2 will come here. And here we don't know. So we have to ask that who would play with Australia in the second round in the event Australia reaches the second round. Okay. So Australia is which team? Australia is team number 1. Right. So Australia is going to play against which team? Team number 9. Team number 9 is what? Bangladesh. So it's a straightforward question. Answer is A. Right. It was perhaps one of the easiest set which I have seen. Is everyone clear? Everyone who was not able to solve it initially, are you able to understand your mistakes now? You said stronger plays against the weaker, so one should play against 7. Sakshi, where are you asking? See, I told you that the first team is always going to play against the last team of the first match. Here, are you saying that one will play against 7? No, one is going to play against 8. See, the way we divide this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Say there are 8 teams. So match number 1 will be between 1 and 8. Match number 2 will be between 2 and 7. Then 3 and 6, and then 4 and 5. Match 2, match 3, and then match 4. So the stronger team plays against the weaker team in the first round. Then whosoever is the winner of match number 1 is always going to play against match number 4. Then it will be match 1 versus match 4 and match 2 versus match 3. Then whosoever wins here is going to play against the winner here. So this is how the sequence of knockout tournament happens. Clear, Sakshi? Sarthak, the way I am arranging this is okay. See, one is playing against 16, right? Let me redo this if it's still not clear. One is playing against 16, 2 will play against 15, 3 is playing against 14, 4 is playing against 13, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. This is round number 1. Fine. Let's assume that that there is no upset. So all the teams on the left hand side have won the match, right? So which means in round number 2, winner of match number 1 is going to play against the winner of match number 8. So it doesn't matter whether it's an upset or not. In round number 2, we always see match number 1 ka winner will always play against match number 8, which was the last match ka winner. So it will be a match between 1 and 8. Similarly, it will be match between 2 and 7. Similarly, it will be match between 3 and 6. Similarly, it will be between 4 and 5. So guys, if you see 1 and 8 was here, which was the first match. So this was first, this was my second quadrant, this was my third quadrant, and this was my fourth quadrant. Second was 2 and 7. So I've drawn 2 and 7 here. Third was 3 and 6. So I've drawn 3 and 6 here. This was 3 and 6. And fourth was 4 and 5. Now it was given the question that team number 1 was winning the match here. Here team number 7 was winning. Here team number 6 was winning, and here team number 5 was winning. So it's okay. Now I think Sakshi's question was that why 1 is not playing against 7, because that seed wala thing was only in the round 1. As we have moved on to the future rounds, the way we do it is match number 1 ka winner will always play against match number last ka winner. So now next match will be between 1 and 5, 1 and 5 and 7 and 6, 7 and 6. Say 1 has won the match, say 6 has won the match. So final match will be between 1 and 6. Is it clear now? I've explained the logic of drawing the diagram here. If drawing the diagram is very confusing, you can do it by arranging all the teams in a sequential manner. Even that will be very faster. That will take you similar amount of time. I was just comfortable there, so I did it like that. Rahul, don't go by the diagram. Go by the solution. Is this clear? Sakshi, Sarthak and Rahul, is it clear now? Himadri, since it has become a question to most of you, I would always suggest do not go by the diagram because it takes similar amount of time. See, I anyways knew that 1 and 16 के नीचे it should be 8 and 9. So the way I've drawn the diagram is, if this is my match number 1, here I should have match number 8 because 1 is going to play against 8. So whosoever will be the winner of 1 will play against the winner of match number 8. Similarly, if this is match number 2, so this should be match number 7, right? Because 1 plus 8, 2 plus 7, right? Similarly, if this is match number 3rd, sorry, this will be match number 3rd, right? Because 2 and 3 will play, and this will be match number 4. Match number यहाँ 3 है, so this will be match number 6 क्योंकि their sum should be 9. 1 plus 8 is 9, 2 plus 7 is 9, 3 plus 6 is 9, and similarly 4 plus 5 is 9. So this is how I've drawn this diagram. Match number 1 was what? 1 and 16. Match number 8 was 8 and 9. Match number 4 was 4 and 13. Match number 5 was 5 and 12, and so on and so forth. I hope this is clear now. I'm giving so much of time in this initial questions because this just sets your base. So now I suppose even the question number 3 and question number 4 are exactly similar. There is no rocket science. So now if you try to do it using this diagram, everyone will be able to solve it. I think other guys have made the mistake in just drawing the diagram. So the third question is, if in the first round all the even numbered matches results in an upset, which means match number 2 is an upset, match number 4 is an upset, 6 is an upset, and 8 is an upset. Okay? And then there are no upsets in the second round. Then which team facing South Africa in the semi-finals? South Africa is which team? Team number 3rd. So let's see the diagram for this. Yes, this is the diagram. So all the even matches, right? I knew this was match number 1, this was match number 2, this was match number 3, this was match number 4. This was, now 4 has to play against 5, right? 4, 5, 3, 6, because the sum has to be constant. 6 plus 3, 2 plus 7, and 1 plus 8. So all the even, so all the red circled matches are the upsets. So 15 will win, here 11 will win, here 3, 7, and so on and so forth. So if you just draw the diagram, and I had to see the match of what, South Africa. So South Africa is which number? South Africa was number 3. So number 3 is going to play against number 7 in the semi-finals. So number 7 was West Indies, and hence the answer was B. Clear? Question number 3rd. And if I ask you number of matches, since there were 16 teams, number of matches will be what? 16 minus 1, 15. Chale guys, aage. This was the example of knockout. There should be no confusion. Now let's talk about Robin round. So guys, typically questions of Robin round are, you have to find out maximum number of points which a team can get and still not qualify for the semi-final. Say there are 8 teams, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So I know that every team is going to play 7 matches, right? One will play against 8, 2, one is going to play against every other team, 2 is going to play against every other team, and so on and so forth. And if I give you that every win has 2 points and every draw has 1 point, right? So every team will have a score after having 7 matches, right? Say, so maximum number of score which team number 1 can have is, it can win all the 7 matches. So if they win 7 matches, it will have a point of 4. The lowest point which a team can have is, say team number 8 has lost all the 7 matches, so it will have a score of 0, right? So now, questions can come that only 4 teams are going to go in the semi-final. So what is the maximum number of points which a team can get and still not qualify for the semi-final? These are the typical type of questions which is asked. So the way to solve such questions is, we start distributing the points from top to bottom. So okay, I'll explain you what does this mean through an example in the subsequent slide. We'll directly understand through the example only, it will be easier for you. And similarly, if you're trying to find the minimum number of points which a team must get so as to qualify for the semi-final, we start distributing the points from top to bottom. This is the top to bottom, and this is the bottom to top. That we give that we try to allot the least possible points to a team, and so on and so forth. Also, the second equation here is, say there are 10 matches, and I say that out of 10, there are 6 wins and there are 4 draws, right? So total number of wins will be equals to total number of lost matches. So total number of wins plus total number of draws divided by 2 will be equals to number of matches, right? So why I have divided this number of draws as 2? Because if there is one match, say between team number A and B, and if it results in a draw, right, draw and draw. So in a draw, there'll be one point allotted to each of these teams. So essentially, A has 1 drawn matches and B has 1 drawn matches. So in a total, the number of drawn matches is what? 2. However, the number of match was only 1, and hence we try to divide this figure by 2 so as to give us the number of match. Hence, total number of wins plus total number of draw by 2 is always equals to number of matches. I can also rewrite this equation as a total number of lost matches plus total number of draw by 2 should be equals to number of matches, because total number of wins has to be equals to total number of lost matches. Clear? So ready to solve a question of Robin round? Here it is. This is a question. Solve it. So guys, if you see question number 2, 3, 4 and 5, those are similar. It's pure thinking here. There is no logic, nothing. You just have to think and visualize the problem and that's it. So I'll also try to, draw the diagram parallelly here. So there are 16 teams and they are divided into two groups of 8 each. Okay. Each team in a group. So there are 8 teams here. Say this is group number A, say this is group number B. There are 8 teams here, there are 8 teams here. Each team in a group plays against each other on a round robin basis. Okay. So every team is playing against every other team here. 2 points are awarded for a win, 2 for a win, 1 for a tie, and 0 for a loss. Okay. The top 4 teams from each group, okay, will qualify for the next round. And each team of one group will play with each team of group 2. Okay, so in round 2, team number 1 will play against all the 4 teams, team 2 will play against all the 4 teams, and so on and so forth. They'll play within themselves. At the end of second round, the top 4 teams in terms of the point score advance to the semi-finals. Okay, so round 3, I'll have 4 teams total out of 8 teams. And the winners of the semi-final play the final. And round 4 is the final, 2 teams. The team with better 100 would be ranked ahead. Okay, perfect. So this is a classic case of World Cup and hence becomes really important for your cat. So guys, has everyone solved question number 1? We'll discuss question number 1 after 15 seconds. At least attempt the first part of this question. First is D. Okay. Shine and Shurjil. Only two guys have solved the first part. Sagar, Sakshi, Rahul, Iti, Sarthak. What about you? The first part is like really straightforward. There is no DILR in first part. Sakshi, good. So okay, let's do question number 1. I could only see 3 replies and all the 3 are correct. So see, the total number of matches would be what? Total number of matches in round number 1 plus round number 2 plus round 3 plus round 4, right? So round 1 के matches plus round 2 के matches plus round 3 के matches plus round 4 के matches, right? So round number 1 में क्या हो रहा है? Each of these 8 teams in one group is playing against each other. So number of matches will be what? 8c2 in one group. Now there are two groups, right? So there will be 8c2 into 2, right? So this will be number of matches in round number 1. In round number 2 में क्या हो रहा है? Every team of group A, so each of these 4 teams will play against each of the teams in group B, right? So one team will play 4 matches, so 4 teams will play 4 into 4 matches. Round 3 is what? Semi-final. So semi-final mein first will play against fourth, second will play against third. So there are essentially what? Only 2 matches. And round 4 is final, so there will be only 1 match. So that was it. I think if you solve this, you'll get 75 as your answer. 8c2 is 28 into 2, 56 plus 16, 72 plus 2 plus 1, 75. So answer is D. Guys, this is a really good problem, especially for your from your CAD perspective. And it gets very difficult to understand for a lot of aspirants. So if this is not clear to everyone, please ask it right now. Are there only 3 people in the class? Only Sharjil, Shine, Sakshi and Sagar. I can only see 4 replies. What's happening with others? Sonal, are you not able to solve this? जितना हो गया उतना बता दो. Okay, guys. So let's see part number 2 first. Then we'll move on to the next parts. Because it's a long question, I don't want to do all the 5 parts at a go. So yes, part number, like question number 2. Everyone, please stop attempting and look up here. So part number 2 is, what is the least number of points with which a team can advance to round number 2, right? So see, round number 1 there are 8 teams and only 4 teams will qualify to round number 2 from each of the groups. So we can only consider 1 sample group for our question, which means out of 8 teams, 1 team has to be in top 4, right? Now it is asking us, what is the least number of points with which 1 team can be within this top 4, right? So there are 8 teams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So let's say, team number 1, 2 and 3 reaches to the finals. Now I want team number 4 to have minimum point, right? With which it can still reach the round number 2. So guys, see, a total number of matches here is 8C2, which is 28. So total number of points in round number 1 will be what? 28 into 2, which is 56. Because see, every match will be what? Either one team will win and one will lose, or it will be a tie, right? If one team is winning the match, it is gaining 2 points, and if one team is losing the match, it is getting 0. However, if it is a tie, every team is getting 1 plus 1. So essentially, in every match, I will have 2 points, right? Even if it's a tie or if it's not a tie, every time I will have 2 points against every single match. So guys, total number of points, which means points of team number 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 will be what? 56. So now this becomes a question of quant, that I have to allot 56 points to all the 8 teams such that the fourth team gets the fourth team का जो score होगा that gets minimized. So how will I do that? I will try to assign maximum number of points to the starting 3 teams, right? And then I will see. So maximum number of points which can be received by team number 1 is what? It is possible that team number 1 wins all the matches. So how many matches will team number 1 play? It's gonna play 7 matches, right? So if it wins 7 matches, it will have a 7 into 2, 14 ka score. Now team number 2, I know team number 1 has won all the matches, which means team number 2 has lost 1 match against 1. So maximum number of wins for team number 2 can be 6, and hence its score will be 12. Maximum number of wins for team number 3 will be what? 10, because 1 or 2 ke against to hari gaya, it can only win against 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So maximum points accumulated by 1, 2 and 3 will be what? 36. ठीक है, मेरे पास total points कितने? 56. I have already allotted 36 points to the 3 teams. So the remaining point is what? 20. And I know 14th is the maximum score, 12th is the second highest, and 10th is the third highest. So 4th ka score has to be less than 10. Right? Now I have to minimize the score of 4 such that even with the minimum score, it gets on the 4th position. So how will I do it? I have to distribute 20 points to these 5 players such that 4th remains on the top out of these 5. So how will I do it? I will try to divide 20 points equally in all the 5. So 20 by 5 is what? 4. So if I give 4 points to 4, if I give 4 points to 5, 4 points to 6, 4 points to 7, 4 points to 8, it is possible, right? So 4 can win the match against 5 and 6, 5 can win the match against 6 and 7, 6 can win against 7 and 8, 7 can win against 8 and 4, and 8 can win against 4 and 5. It is quite possible that every team wins exactly 2 matches out of the remaining matches. So if that happens, every team will get a score of 4. So see, even with a score of 4, a team can be on the 4th number. How? If its run rate is higher, right? Because this was the last statement of the set. The team with the better run rate will be qualified. So okay, that solves my purpose, that with the equal score I will have the least score which I can allot to team number 4, and hence least score is 4. So even with a score of 4 it can qualify to round number 2. So answer is B. This is a very important concept from your DILR point of view. If anyone has any doubts, please ask me right now. Because you have to apply the very same concept in part number 3rd. Guys, is it clear or not? At least tell something. I'm not able to see your comments. Okay, let me refresh. Clear, fine. Chale, so let's move on to question number 3rd, or rather I will wait for you guys to do question number 3rd. It's a very similar problem. Instead of maximum, I have asked the instead of minimum score, I have asked the maximum score. What is the maximum possible points that can be scored by a team that is eliminated in the first round? So out of 8, you have to assign maximum number of points to team number 5, because only 4 teams are going to reach to round number 2. So guys, in the last part, because we had to assign the least score, हमने क्या किया था? जो top 3 है, who are anyways going to reach to round number 2, we have assigned the maximum points to them. But here it is the exactly opposite. Here the question asks you find the maximum number of points which can be scored by a team. So मैं क्या करूँगा? See, out of 4 teams are directly going to get eliminated, right? So I will try to at least assign minimum points to each of the last 3 teams. So lowest possible score is 0, then 2, then 4, right? With the very same concept, ki 8th wale has lost all the 7 matches, 7 has won just 1 match against 8, 6 has won just 2 matches against 7 and 8. So total score accumulated here is 6. I had a total score of what? 56, right? 8C2 was the number of matches and every match had a score of 2. So a score of 56 is possible. So which means out of 56, I have already allotted a total of 6 points. So remaining is 50 points is something which I have to divide in 5 teams, right? 50 points I have to divide in 5 teams. So maximum number of points I can give to team number 5 is what? 50 by 5 equals to 10. At max, I can assign equal points to all the teams such that the first 4 teams with the higher run rate will reach round number 2. So maximum number of points is what? 10. Hence, either you can do it by logic or you can remember that when we have to assign maximum number of points, such that even with maximum points, it cannot reach reach in the subsequent rounds. You do the problem from bottom. It's a bottom-up approach, while in the other case, it was a top-down approach. Yes, answer is this. Correct. So guys, do the fourth question now. What is the minimum number of matches won by a team that reaches the final? Now, the other two questions are really simple. I want everyone to attempt fourth and fifth. I'll give you 2 minutes for this. Rahul says fourth is B. Sharjan says fourth is B. Others? Saga says fourth का C है. Okay guys, let's do fourth. I think I've given you enough time for this set. So guys, see, first thing is everyone's answer is wrong. Why it is wrong? Let's see. What is the minimum number of matches won by team that reaches the final? So guys, in round one, then in round one, there will be 8 teams, right? Then I have round 2, then I have round 3, then I have round 4. So round 3 is semi-final, round 4 is final, right? Round 2 mein every team is playing against every other team, and round 1 mein there are 8C2 into 2 matches. So because I have to minimize the number of wins, so I can assume that all the 8C2 into 2, right? So there are 56 matches. I can assume that all the matches end up in a draw here in round number 1. Same I can assume in round number 2 because team number 1 is of group number A is playing against all the 4 teams of group number B, right? So I can assume that all the matches ended up in a tie in round number 1 and round number 2 because I have to minimize the number of matches. Even with then, the teams with the better run rate will reach to round number 3rd. Now in round number 3rd, I have 4 teams, right? So one team is going to play against the 4th team. Now guys, in semi-final, there is no draw, right? You either win the match or you don't, and even if it's a tie, uh, there will be a tiebreaker. So the only possibility is you have to at least win one match of semi-final. In semi-final, there will be only one match for a team, and you have to win that match. If you win that match, you will directly reach to the round number 4, which is the final. And the question says, what is the minimum number of match won by a team that reaches the finals? I think you guys have misunderstood the question, that find the minimum number of matches won by a team who wins the final. If that is the question, it has to win the final as well as semi-final. But the question is, it just have to reach the final, so it just have to win the semi-final. That's it. So answer is 1 and not 2 or 3 or 4. Yes, only Himadri's answer is correct. Answer is 1. Now guys, question number 5 तो बहुत easy है. What is the maximum number of matches won by a team that reaches the final? So let's assume that it has won all the matches, right? So in round number 1, every team will have 7 matches. It has won 7 matches. In round number 2, every team will have 4 matches. Let's assume it wins all the 4 matches. And then round number 3, that is semi-final, it has to win the match to reach the final. So it has to win 12 matches if I have to calculate the maximum number of wins. So answer will be D. So answers are D, A, C, A, D. These are the final answers. Everyone clear? It was a very good set, and you would see similar sets in your mocks. I bet either on time or an IMS. So now I want everyone to be able to solve 4 or 5 questions and score maximum percentile there, because we have done this set. So I'm assuming everyone is well adherent with knockouts and Robin round now, and this was a mix of both, because this covers almost 30% of the topic. So now let's do a set from CAT. These are the 4 questions here. Let's solve this set. Now guys, this is neither knockout nor Robin round, because we have covered both the variations of cricket. So now we are moving on to some other sport. Let's say hockey or football. This question can also be asked of football in the very similar format. So guys, this is the new variation anyways. So I'll give you 2 more minutes to solve this set. Excuse me. Also, guys, it's when nothing is mentioned in the question, you assume it to be robin round. So here, every team is going to play against every other team. If nothing is mentioned in any set, by default you assume that every team is playing against every other team. Okay. Which means every team has played how many matches? 4 matches. Okay. Solve all the 4 parts, then we'll discuss. So guys, the hint here is you have to initially complete the table and then try to analyze that who has won which match against which team. Only that's how you'll be able to solve this entire set. This set is basically, I've tried to form this set by mixing 2 different sets. In one set, you just have to fill the table. That is a little bit easier. In the second set, you have to also identify that which team, if India has played a match against Pakistan, who has won that match. And hence, there are 4 questions. Done, guys? Okay. CCDA. Perfect, guys. I can see most of your answers are correct. Answer is CCDA. Let's also solve this set. Shajil good. Sagar good. Vanchika, your answers are not correct. Yes, Himadri, Sri Lanka has scored quite a number of runs. Fine. So, how will we approach the problem? See, it's given the question that every team is going to play how many matches? 4 matches, right? Every team is going to play against every other match, right? Which means the total number of matches will be what? There are 5 teams, so total number of matches will be 5c2. There'll be 10 matches. There are 10 matches, and if I'm giving 2 points for a win and 1 point for a draw, so total number of points will be what? 10 into 2, 20. I already have 6, 6, 3, 3 points. The remaining point is 2. So South Africa के number of points कितने हो जाएंगे? 2. ठीक है? Also, let's see here. India and Pakistan are scoring 6. So 6 कैसे possible है guys? 6 के लिए क्या चाहिए रहेगा? या तो मैं 3 बार जीतूं, 1 बार हारूं, 1 loss, right? और क्या चाहिए? I have 4 number of matches. I can have 2 wins and 2 ties, right? These are the only 2 possibilities in which I can end up in a score of 6. Correct? Now India में it's already given कि India hasn't lost any matches. So India में see, I for a fact knows कि ये तो 4-4 है सबका. So India must have had 2 wins and 2 draws, right? Only then it can end up in a score of 2. Now Pakistan के लिए भी 2 option थे, but first option has already been taken by India, and it's given that no 2 teams have the exact number of wins, draws, or losses. So it must be what? 3 wins and 1 loss and 0 draws, of course. Right? Clear सबको? Now let's see ahead. Let's talk about South Africa. So South Africa के number of points has 2. So 2 points कब हो सकते हैं guys? When there is 1 win and 3 losses, or it can end up in 2 ties and 2 lost matches, right? These are the only possibilities. Now it's also given to us कि South Africa and Spain का match is a draw, right? So at least एक match तो draw हुआ ही है. So the first possibility is not there. So the only possibility is case number 2, that it must have 2 draws and 2 lost matches and 0 wins, right? Now for a score of 3, I must have 1 win and 1 tie, or I can have 3 tied matches, right? Plus 1 lost matches. 1 win plus 1 tie plus 2 lost matches. These are the only 2 combinations, right? Now guys, it's given to us. So either of this combination will be taken by either Australia or Spain. But the question says that Australia has 1 more number of matches than Spain. So Australia must take the first thing, right? Because first mein number of win matches is 1, second mein number of win matches is 0. So Australia का stats क्या होगा? 1 win plus 1 tie plus 2 lost matches. इसका क्या होगा? 3 tied plus 0 lost matches. Sorry, 3 tied plus 1 lost matches plus 0 wins. Where's my eraser? Clear सबको? This table so far is good. Anyone? Any doubts so far? Fine. Just give me 2 minutes. Let me just strike this off, and then we'll start with the further problems. Fine. So guys, see, now the question has said that Pakistan has won 3 matches, right? And Pakistan has lost 1 match. So Pakistan had played 4 matches, right? And Pakistan has lost only 1 match. Which means Pakistan or India का जो match हुआ होगा, either Pakistan has won that match or Pakistan has lost that match. If Pakistan is winning a match against India, India will have to lose that match, right? But the stats of India says that India hasn't lost any single match. If India hasn't lost any single match, that means Pakistan must have lost its match against India, right? Which means इंडिया पाकिस्तान का जो मैच है, लेट मी राइट इट हियर, इंडिया would have beaten the Pakistan. So India beats Pakistan, right? This was match number 1, which means Pakistan would have won its match against every other team, right? Pakistan beats Australia, Pakistan beats Spain, and Pakistan beats South Africa, right? These are 4 matches of Pakistan. Also, guys, let's try to write whatever is given to us. South Africa and Spain is draw. South Africa and Spain ka match is a draw. Okay, perfect. Also, if we see, Spain has already lost its match against Pakistan, right? Spain ka, if we see the stats, it can draw 3 matches and it has to lose 1 matches. It's already given that Spain has lost the match to Pakistan. So Spain ka बाकी सारी teams के साथ match must have been a draw. So Spain, India, Spain, Australia, South Africa, Spain हो गया, right? That's it. So I've drawn all the 7 matches of Spain as well. Now guys, see, I have already drawn 1 match of Australia, right? Australia का stats क्या था? Australia का एक ही match draw होगा, which I have already drawn. And I know, so Australia का एक win है, which should come either against India, Pakistan or South Africa. Australia is not winning against Pakistan for sure, right? Because Pakistan is winning. So Australia must win against either India or South Africa. Australia cannot win against India because India has 0 lost matches. So Australia must win against South Africa. Australia must win against South Africa, which means India must win against Australia. Clear? And the final matches, India and South Africa. So India की number of wins कितने थे? 2. India has already won its match against Australia. India has already won its match against Pakistan. So India and South Africa must be a draw. That's it. If you draw this diagram, now you can directly mark the answer. Who won the match between India and South Africa? It's a draw. It was a draw. How many matches were played in total? It was a cakewalk, 10 matches. How many wins are there for Spain? Spain के number of wins is 0. So 0. Which team won the match against Pakistan? India. So answer is C, C, D, A. Clear? Please explain the distribution for India and Pakistan. See, Vanshika, India and Pakistan have a score of 6. Now the score of 6 is only possible when a team has 3 wins and 1 lost. And 1 lost match, right? Or 2 wins and 2 lost. Score of 6 can be what? Either 3 into 2 plus 0, or it can be what? 2 into 2 plus 2, right? These are the only 2 possibilities because there are only 4 matches. But we know that India has 0 lost matches. So first case does not hold true for India. So India के लिए सिर्फ second case ही होगा, in which there are 2 wins and 2 ties. So 3 wins and 1 lost will come for Pakistan automatically. So that becomes the distribution for Pakistan. Now Pakistan cannot win its match against India. Why? Because India has 0 lost matches. So Pakistan must have lost to India and must have win against all the other 3 teams. Is it clear, guys? Chalo. I hope it's clear. If it's not, you can ask me. Oh, sorry. So yeah, it's a very simple question. I'll give you maximum 3 minutes for this set. It's again a set from CAT. But because we have already solved really tough and advanced question of knockout tournament, I'm sure everyone should be able to get 4 and 4 here. Come on, let's not wait much of a time here. We are already running out of time. Let's wrap this up.
वही से फोटो देते ना इसका तो मजा आएगा ये डालियो रे देखिए पिक्चर एक्चुअली दादा ने को लास्ट में वो आग का बॉडी खींच के निकालता है आया सारे चीटिंग करते हैं तो तेरी दे तू भी चीटिंग करता है जल्दी यार निकल इसके पनिशमेंट इससे मिलेगा इससे नहीं वेट अगर ऐसे अच्छा करे वेट लॉस होना होगा तो सबके हो मूवी देखिए खाना अच्छा खाना मंगाने या तो अपन पनीर बना सकते हैं जैसे जब अपन बाहर से मंगा सकते हैं बाहर से बाहर से भी तो कुछ दो चीजें मंगाई एक मंगाएंगे अपन पनीर से सब्जी पनीर टिक्का भी कम बढ़िया नहीं आता पनीर मंगाएंगे फुल मंगाएंगे तो वो मंगाएंगे सेलेक्ट करो फिर डाले के बनाओ लेते हो तो देखिए डाले फिर तो वाले कल से कर नहीं हां तो पनीर को साथ ले हम आपको लिखा है आपको चीज यार पूरे साथ एक बार वो भी हफ्ते में दो बार नहीं उसमें क्या भूख लगेगा तो नहीं ना ऐसे लिखो कि मेरे के साथ कर लो सकते जरूरी नहीं है जरूरी है साथ में जरूरी नहीं है वैसे मेरे करके इंसान चले जाए
Okay, I have 3 answers so far. I'm waiting for you. I'll give you 2 more minutes. Done, guys? I'll give you last 30 seconds.
ये कुछ बोला नहीं है
तो ये तो है नहीं।
दो टीम के तो बड़ा सोया
Shajil, Himadri, Ashutosh. Okay, guys. I think we have all the answers. So let's start. The question says that there are 200 teams participating in an open knockout tournament where they form groups and play against each other. So in round 1, there will be 100 teams and hence 100 winners. Round 2, mein 50 and so on and so forth. If there are any odd number of players, say there are 25 teams in round number 3rd, one team will be selected at random and granted a bye. So then there will be 24 teams and hence there will be 12 matches. The tournament continues till a winner is decided. And then no match ends in a draw. Perfect. Clear? So the questions are how many matches must be played to decide the winner? How many rounds take place? How many buys were granted? And in what rounds were the buys granted? So guys, there are two approaches. One is the standard one, which most of you would have solved with, which is, by the way, this is the answer. 199, 8, 3, and 456. So this is the conventional approach in which you will draw a table like this. Right? So in round number 1, group 1 will have 100 teams, group 2 will have 100 teams. So 100 will play against 100 and there will be 100 winners and 0 buys. Similarly, 50, 50, 50, in 50 mein se, I'll segregate total 50 people in two teams, 25, 25 and 0 buys. Now guys, in round number 4C, there were 25 people, right? So out of 25, I will directly give one buy because it's an odd people. The remaining is 24. So I'll divide 24 in two groups, 12 and 12, and out of them 12 will be the winners, right? So now I have what, 12 winners and one this 13, right? So now I have 13 players in round number 5. So out of 13 I will directly give one is by, remaining is 12. So I will divide 12 in 6 and 6 and there will be 6 winners. Similarly, now there is 7, I'll give one by, and remaining is 6, I will divide 3 and 3. And then again I will have what, 3 winners and 1 is the buy. So there are 4 players in round number 7. Hence I can directly divide 4 players in group 1, 2 and 2, and then there will be 2 winners. Similarly, out of 2 winners, these 2 will be moved to the finals, which is round number 8, and then it's 1-1, and there will be 1 winner. So if you have to calculate total number of matches, I will just sum all these numbers, and if you do it, the answer comes out to be 199. This is approach number 1. And second is how many rounds took place. 8 rounds are there. How many buys were granted? In what rounds were the buys granted? Now, once you have drawn this table, just a minute, guys. I think my screen has got hung. Just give me 1 minute. Guys, my screen has hung. Let's start it again.